If you're already subscribed, then you know that this is the second G35 that we're building on the channel. And in the last episode, I thought to myself, surely this engine is not dumping the amount of oil that I had described. Our small oil stain has turned into a puddle of sorts, and I've got a whole tray down just to be able to catch it because we have no idea where it's coming from. So for this episode, we're going to be breaking down the top of the engine. I'm going to be detailing the engine and trying to track down where the oil is coming from. So stay tuned, it's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, so we got the G, and it's really difficult for me not to work on it, so I've already dove into it slightly. So I've got the rocker panel all disassembled and then reassembled, and clearly it's very flush now. And then we've got the engine bay, which I already dove into. All I've done to it so far is taken a couple 2-inch brushes from Harbor Freight and just come in here and just brush it all over the place. It just agitates all the dirt, dust, grime, oil, all of it. It just agitates it. And then after it's all pissed off, you just take the air hose and just blast it off. It gets nice and clean like this. And that's actually the tip that I got from Chris Fix. So he really knows what he's doing. And so where that leaves us now is we've got this engine which has oil dumped down the side of it. It's greasy, it's disgusting, it's nasty, and it's making it really difficult to tell where it's leaking oil from. So first, I'm gonna have to take off the intake so that we have a lot more room and detail it a little bit more, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. So it looks like it's not dumping onto the heat shield right down there, but I mean, this looks pretty bad. That's where the dipstick goes, so just like that's how much crap is in this. And so I'm gonna have to clean all of this up. I'm gonna want to clean up underneath too, just to roll out the oil pan gasket.
delicious. Hey, so this is where we're at. I got oil dripping. Clearly. Wow, yeah. Oh man. You know, maybe it's all caused by an aluminum washer. Maybe, we'll see. But holy crap. I'm gonna clean all this off. And then we'll be one step closer. Yeah, ew. It is smooth under that. Yo. Oh man.
So here's where we're at. I got everything disassembled and out of here, and you can see I cleaned up a whole lot of the sludge that was in there. It's a lot better than it was before, and this is my first time detailing this engine bay so far, so it's only going to get better the more that I detail it. But you can see that down here, right there, and also back here, I cleaned off all the sludge that's up against the valve cover gasket. So in theory, once I start the engine and run it a little bit, if the valve cover gasket is leaking, then it'll be panning right there and I'll be able to see the oil building up. If we go along to the bottom side of the engine now, this is the location where I believe I found the leak, but I'm not 100% certain. I've cleared out all of this gunk and buildup. It was clearly sludge of some sort. Maybe it was just dirt and grime. We don't know that yet, but I can see, if you look right here at the pin, there's already oil starting to bead up and drip right there. So there's really two possibilities right here. If it is that, it could be the oil pan gasket and it could be leaking from the back end around here, or he may have just used the wrong washer on there and then it's gonna be dripping. So I guess we'll see. We'll see. Brian's here. Guess what? If you made it this far, you liked the video, so make sure to smash that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe and share with all of your friends. And we've got two pieces of info for you this time. We've got t-shirts available. If you go to zturndesigns.com/shop and pick one up for yourself, it really helps out the channel. And a second piece of info, Ryan, are you hungry?
Starving.
Me too. And these videos take 80 hours a week for me to edit. So by the time you see this episode, I will have drank irrational amounts of coffee. Ryan, do you have any money for coffee?
No.
How about pizza?
No.
All right. So here's the deal. We set up a Patreon account so you can help us out in getting coffee and pizza. And it's at patreon.com/millsgarage. And anything you help us out with will be super greatly appreciated. We're just some starving YouTubers, and I mean, you'd be keeping us alive. So at this point, the engine's all cleaned up and it's been sitting here for a little bit. We're gonna take some paper towels and then we're gonna check for any leaks. We're gonna put the intake on, start it up, get it up to temperature, and then check for any leaks again, and hopefully we can track down where this oil is coming from.
Cool, let's do it.
All right, so here's the locations we're gonna be checking for oil real quick. I got my clean paper towel and I'm just gonna come in here and just dab along this edge where the gasket meets up. I mean, I see crud.
Could just be some leftover.
Maybe there's some oil. I don't see anything super liquidy right there. We'll be able to tell that a little bit better after we start it up. I'll check this one right here though, because we got a couple places to check. And I it doesn't look wet. Even though it looks a little grimy and whatnot, it doesn't look wet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go along the bottom. It looks like, can you see this right here? It looks like there's a little bead.
Oh yeah, you can see that.
If I touch that, it's definitely just gonna coat my finger. But so what I wanna do is actually not touch that yet, and I'm gonna check the back, because I wanna see whether the gasket itself is leaking or whether it is just the washer, because it might just be the washer. If it's just the washer,
Yeah, the gasket looks good on this side.
I'm gonna feel a little bit like a jerk. But at the same time, I have reason to, you know, believe that this is leaking, so. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. At this point, I really do, I think it might just be the washer. I think he reused the washer or something like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start up the car, run it for a little bit, and then double check, make sure that that seal is good, and we're gonna double check up top too.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah, cool. Oh yeah, battery.
Go, I'm just gonna start it up real quick. Ooh. I sat in this for a second.
Oh, my freaking ears!
Ow.
So we're just gonna let the engine go for a couple of minutes and then let it get up to temperature, and then we're gonna check it out. So, go.
All right.
All right, so clearly the power steering pump, we gotta fix that.
Oh yeah.
Cool. All right, so we're checking right down here, and we don't see any oil at the moment. So I'm gonna check that in a couple days after running the car, and then hopefully we still won't have any oil there. And then coming along to the bottom real quick. I don't see any oil. Huh.
Cool.
All right, so that's actually really great news that we don't have any oil on the back of the oil pan gasket. Let's do the super test. This is definitely where it's coming from. Hold on. See what we got. Coming right off the oil plug. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We got the oil coming right here. What it means is that the person who did the oil last, they just reused the old washer. And whenever you do that, it doesn't create the correct seal anymore. And so we have a whole video on that if you check right up here in the corner. And it's just on how to do your oil and how to use a proper washer to make sure you get a good seal.
Yep, pretty simple.
Yeah, super simple stuff. Yeah, so no more oil issues.
Yes.
I hope. Yeah, but I'm super hungry.
Me too.
And this is gonna take so much coffee for me to edit this up.
A lot of pizza.
Lots of pizza. So make sure you go to patreon.com/millsgarage and help us out and feed some starving YouTubers. We're gonna put all this back together and tune in next week. We will be right back. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks for watching this episode of Mills Garage. Make sure to like and comment below and share the video, and we'll see you next time.
I love carbon fiber.
Oh, it's cold.
I need a pizza and socks.
Pizza and socks. Pizza and socks.